You can't always believe what the other side claims. That's why there's the Sean Hannity Show.
All right, 25 till the top of the hour, 800-941-SEAN. You want to be a part of the program? Let me play Flip-Flop Fauci, who needs to be fired. First in 2012, warning that dual-use research, gain of function, has the potential for malevolent applications. And then you'll hear Fauci say in 2012, the knowledge from dual-use research, gain of function, in the hands of those with ill intent and not exactly good. But then he says, yeah, but I still support it even if it's a worldwide pandemic as a result. I can't believe he said it, but he did.
As you mentioned in your statement, the issue at hand is the ongoing threat of the emergence of an H5N1 pandemic influenza and the research that was supported by the NIH to address this threat. The conduct and publication of the results of such research in the form of the two manuscripts that you mentioned has focused considerable public attention on the issue of dual-use research, namely research that is directed at providing new information critical to the public health, but at the same time has the potential for malevolent applications. My written testimony is submitted for the record, and in my few minutes of time, I will highlight just a few important aspects of this issue. Since transmissibility of a virulence virus was increased, this constitutes dual-use research of concern, or DIRC, which is shown on this poster. If a particular research experiment is identified as DIRC, that designation does not necessarily mean that such research should not be published, nor that it should even be prohibited in the first place. However, it does call for us, as you mentioned, to balance carefully the benefit of the research to the public health, the biosafety and biosecurity conditions under which the research is conducted, and the potential risk that the knowledge gained from such research might fall into the hands of those with ill intent. The ultimate goal of the NIH in its embrace of this new policy is to ensure that the conduct and communication of research in this area remain transparent and open at the same time as the risk-benefit ratio of such research clearly tips towards benefiting society. The public, which has a stake in the risks as well as in the benefits of such research, deserves a rational and transparent explanation of how these decisions are made.
Well, we didn't get any of that. And then even going on to suggest that, yeah, even if it risks a worldwide pandemic. And then we have the issue of, how much money the NIH, your tax dollars, went to the Wuhan Institute of Virology, where we now believe where the origins of the COVID-19 virus started. And, of course, gain of function capability, and that it happened, the very thing that he said. And, of course, then him feverishly, as these emails show, at least my interpretation is clear. Yeah, they're going to tie it to us. Was gain of function going on with the money we gave him? Yeah. And then, of course, running defense for China. This is nuts. Final thoughts, Dr. Brian Tyson, Dr. George Fareed. I'll let you go first, Dr. Tyson.
For me, it's the biggest tragedy. I mean, when you look at what was going on, what they knew was going on, they knew it got leaked out of the lab, and they hid it from the world, and then played defense the whole time so that they can make a ton of money out of this through their vaccine program, discounting everything that came out that showed to be treatable. It's unimaginable, it's unethical, it's immoral, and it's just downright criminal at this point, especially when you can go back and you can trace what we've seen and how we've been censored for telling the truth for 17 months to now be vindicated. To me, is too late. I mean, it's too late. It's gone on too long. It's tragic.
I mean, it's beyond tragic, and this is beyond dangerous. And the idea that we'd give 1 penny to any lab of virology in China, a hostile regime led by a hostile actor, is unconscionable to me. Dr. Fareed, you get the last word.
Brian, really well stated, and I'll just add a few words that the main one being that we were there, we knew what could be done, and we were trying to get the word out and sending communications all over our country to President Trump and to Fauci and to our local representatives, but they didn't have the empathy and the real commitment to come out and meet with us or meet with other groups around the country. But the real tragedy is that we're still getting censorship. That Google has censored Dr. Zelenko on Google Docs, where he had a terrific information to deal with the early treatment. It's just it's terrible.
Listen,
what's going on.
we would call conspiracy theorists if you just raise the question. We all knew this Wuhan Institute of Virology studied coronaviruses. We also knew that they were involved in gain of research, gain of function. And yet if you raise the question, well, that's where the virus came from. Did it happen in the lab? Oh, that is a debunked conspiracy theory. Apparently not. Anyway, I want to thank you both. Now, I'll give you guys one more crack. Can you please encourage Linda to take her happy pills at noon every day instead of 6 p.m. Eastern?
Yes, I shall. I encourage
Thank you.
Linda, absolutely.
You highly recommend it, right?
Yes, it is.
It's good for my mental health. It's going to be good for everybody.
Yeah, I've seen
She's not
it
defending
working
herself,
well
which is a good thing.
Yes.
Well, Dr.
Right.
Fareed is a dear friend, and I will take anything he says under consideration.
Okay, so you're going to take So Dr. Fareed just said that you need to take your happy pills at noon every day. You're going to take them at noon?
I consider my medical privacy to be just that,
I
private.
didn't ask about medical privacy. You said you would take
Right,
what he
Dr.
said
Fareed?
It is
grief.
You see that?
it is private.
Yeah,
to
of
you,
course.
absolutely.
I got it.
Checkmate,
Okay.
my friend.
Yeah, okay. All right, thank you guys. A great job. And, you got to understand, people like Dr. Tyson, Dr. Fareed, and others, they had to stand up to the entire medical establishment and say, your way of doing
can let them go.
nothing isn't good. Your way of just ignoring this is it's just not going to work. And they were in the front lines in the trenches. Amazing. What was Dr. Fauci? He was too busy doing interviews, emails, and speeches. And writing a book, apparently.
Sean, can we just talk really quickly? I know we have another guest coming up, but just one quick point.
Yeah, sure.
6,000 lives they saved.
They didn't lose anybody.
6,000. I mean, that to me is just.
Listen,
I can't.
I didn't lose one person that I got involved in. And by the way, I had one horrific case.
Yeah,
Horrific.
you did. And the problem is that a lot of the doctors on the East Coast, even if they wanted to help, they can't because they're being completely stonewalled from the therapeutics.
I mean, just think of stupid stuff like if you wanted hydroxychloroquine, you had to go into an emergency room. Now, if you didn't have COVID when you went in, you certainly had it when you left because it was
Exactly
a petri
right.
dish.
Exactly
I mean, it was
right.
so stupid. Or the whole nursing home disaster. It wasn't just New York. It was New Jersey. It was Pennsylvania. It was Michigan. It was California. They all did this stupid things. And then, if you were a doctor that said, maybe a good idea to try these therapeutics. Okay, we don't have clinical studies, but you go to war with the army you have, not the one you wish you had. And the risk is nil. Okay, if the risk is nil, I'm willing to try anything instead of dying. And telling people, well, yeah, just take Tylenol. If your oxygen drops below 90, you probably should go to a hospital then. At that point, you're done.
Right,
Now you're in a war, and you're losing.
And think about President Trump. President Trump, one of the things that he, heralded was the right to try. Why don't we have the right to try? That was the best bill ever
passed.
I mean, it's insanity. I'm like, this is the whole my body, my choice. Where's all the liberals now?
There was promising research out of Israel in the middle of this, and I'm not going to share. It had nothing to. I didn't call anybody in the government, but it was. I got in touch with the researchers. I got in touch with because there was one person, very advanced, very severe, life or death case, and that they had shown promising results. We got to the point they were willing to share it for humanitarian and compassionate reasons, and it turned out it wasn't necessary. But can you imagine? If it's me, I want the right to try everything.
Correct.
I'm not ready to go yet. I need some more time to annoy you.
Exactly right.
941 Sean is our number. We want to update you quick on the border, by the way. Our friend Andy Biggs, Congressman, Arizona, 29 other members of Congress, they are pushing back against the DHS picks from Biden and his comrades. And so today, Andy Biggs is leading the effort with Brian Babin and some others. and it's part of the chairs of the Congressional Border Security Caucus, and literally they're trying to get the laws of this land enforced. Congressman, welcome back. Tell us specifically what you're doing.
Sean, good to be with you. Well, what we're trying to do is we're trying to get the Senate to block the nominees for three very important positions: the head of the Border Patrol, head of ICE, and the head of the USCIS, the U.S. Customs and Immigration Services. These are three people, Sean, that they have imposed policies in either police department, sheriff's department, that they've headed, or in the Biden transition team that have given us the crisis today. They support sanctuary cities. They support open borders. They don't want to enforce the laws. The guy that they've picked to be the ICE head of ICE, Ed Gonzalez from Houston, Texas, he won't even let his sheriffs participate in immigration enforcement with ICE, and they want to make him the lead. I'm telling you, we're trying to get the Senate to have a backbone and really step up and help us defeat these nominees.
It's pretty unbelievable. All right, quick break. We'll come back more with Andy Biggs on the other side, the latest on immigration. Then you'll meet Kelly Chewbacca. She's the Senate candidate challenging for the nomination Lisa Murkowski in Alaska. I want to talk about my friends. You know what? I got to do it this weekend. I get to go out on my Hustler Turf, my newly redesigned for 2021 Hustler Raptor. It is the most fun to drive this mower. They make the best, by far, zero-turn mowers on the market today. They're built like tanks. Compare a Hustler to any other comparable model out there and in the same price range. There is no comparison, and it's just fun to drive. My professional landscaper's been at it 40 years, and he saw my Raptor. Then he literally got the professional models. He got two of them, and you can he with his model could actually mow a football field, cut the lawn, and including both end zones in less than 10 minutes. Linda has hers. I have mine. It is fun to ride, and it gets the job done. It is the best built. It has the most comfort. It is built to last. It has the best engines. And you're going to love it. Learn the Hustler difference. Find the local dealer near you. Just go to hustlerturf.com. That's hustlerturf.com. Quick break. Right back. When we come back, the woman that is challenging in a primary, Lisa Murkowski in Alaska, will join us straight ahead.
The final hour of the Sean Hannity Show is up next. Hang on for Sean's Conservative Solutions.